whatever the politicking that's going on around the topic and around what's happened to Nigel Farage, and yes, I saw that too. This thing about 9 banks now that have said no to his business. But this is the social credit system coming in by any other name. That's really what people need to be paying attention to. Yes, it's fascinating what's happening to Nigel, and lots of people are gossiping about it and inviting themselves to have all sorts of theories about why it has happened. But much more important is to pay attention to the fact that this is a toe in the door of the social credit system. ESG, 3 letters that everybody better start paying attention to, the environmental, social and governance.
Can you just break down what exactly that means? Because, of course, we saw the Western world, the free world, follow China when it came to lockdowns. So what you're saying is that Western governments could also follow the Chinese pattern where, for example, if people didn't cut their carbon emissions, maybe they would lose social credits.
Yeah. Absolutely. The idea is with ESG that a lot of these corporations are now adhering to this idea that it's more important to have some kind of green and social credentials on your sleeve rather than worry about your customers or anything else. Klaus Schwab has talked about stakeholder capitalism at the World Economic Forum, whereby the big decisions in people's lives are made not by elected governments but by unelected transnational corporations. I find it ironic that Jeremy Hunt has got up on his hind legs and made some pretense about intending to bring the banks into line about the way they're behaving towards their customers. Jeremy Hunt has been loudly in support of the way China handled the lockdown, and was salivating at the idea of shutting people, welding people into their apartments, and all of the rest of it. The very notion that he's going to do anything to bring the banks into line. Jeremy Hunt and Rishi Sunak are only in the positions they've got because they appeal to the banks and to the markets. They were put in place because they suited the appetites of the banks and the markets. The very idea that he's going to do anything without the banks and the markets say so sounds pretty laughable to me. But yes, this is social credit. This is where we will, and if you think it's only going to happen to Nigel Farage or to any other high-profile people, think again, because it means that if you seek to conduct business with your bank and your bank reviews your behaviour, who you've been supporting, what you've been saying, maybe a charity or a fund that you've sought to support. Let's all remember what happened to the truckers' supporters in Canada.
Yeah.
If anybody is seen, private or high profile, is seen to transgress in a way that doesn't suit the board of a bank or the board of a transnational corporation, then any one of us could find that we are no longer customers of a bank. And if that then spreads through the system, as it seems to be doing with Nigel, where one bank after another refuses to take your business, then you become, as Nigel has said, a non-person. It's social murder. That banks are taking the step of cutting people off from modern life in this way is something that, if nothing else over the last 3 years has made people sit up and pay attention, then this one really should, because this is social credit. This is, are you a good person in the eyes of the corporations? And if you're not, then they can cut you off literally without a sou.